Tweets are pouring in. Here's Brooke Bullock. It's crucial that journalism doesn't become a victim of censorship as a means to prevent terrorism. Tom Towles, the Pulitzer-Prize-winning cartoonist of the Washington Post, made a statement after the Charlie Hebdo massacre with this cartoon showing an automatic weapon and a pen labeled free expression. I spoke to him earlier from the paper's newsroom. Tom Towles, welcome.
Glad to be here.
This cartoon really sends a message. What message were you trying to send?
Well, cartoons are supposed to be very, very simple, and this one mostly is, so I'll give you the simple version first. It was my immediate reaction to the tragedy this past week, and it obviously was not just an attack on specific cartoonists, it was more generally an attack on freedom of expression generally. So I wanted an image that, portrayed the factors here. There was, on the one hand, there was the automatic weapon fire that was used in the terrorist attack and murders, and on the other hand, there's the lowly pen of a cartoonist, which I labeled as free expression. What I wanted to do was to take off on the idea that the pen is mightier than the sword, okay, that's the simple part. The caption of the cartoon is the pen will endure. That's the simple part. I'll stop there. And if
all right, let me jump in and ask you whether you worried at all that the murder, the massacre of these journalists, that it could lead to a softening or a self-censorship among commentators and cartoonists.
Well, actually, that's on my mind after this incident. It's always on my mind. I mean, it's an ongoing issue in journalism and in opinion journalism in particular. And the jury is still out. There was a very heartening response globally to this tragedy. The overwhelming public outturning in France and the United States and around the world of people taking just the opposite of a cowering stance, the we are not afraid, and it's
very encouraging.
It was a public recognition of the importance of free expression. Now, but that having been said, it will remain to be seen what happens going forward. What kind of, freedom of expression is a very complicated thing, and it happens across a variety of media and editors and market forces. We all
grapple with this. But when you're drawing a cartoon, because you're in the satire business, do you ever think to yourself, well, this is funny, but maybe it crosses a line, maybe it will be too offensive to some people?
Well, that's an interesting cultural difference between European cartooning and American cartooning. I'm not sure that everybody understands quite what that difference is. The standards of what is normal visual discourse and cartooning in Europe is a little bit different in the United States. They're more freewheeling. They go more for vulgar, very confrontational imagery. So, automatically right off the bat, when I draw a cartoon, I'm working in the American context, which is more visually circumscribed. But what I ask myself is not so much, am I crossing a line of offensiveness? The thing I'm always asking myself is, does this cartoon reflect what I really want to say, and does it convey that effectively? I don't censor myself, and my editor does not ever try to censor me in terms of content or opinion expressed. There is a question of, the images that are selected. That's a matter of discussion. But as far as content, no, that doesn't enter my mind.
The pen is still a mighty thing, and it's a little-known fact that Tom Towles and I both worked at the Spectrum, the student paper at the State University of New York at Buffalo. Tom, good to see you again.
Great. Thank you, Howie.